விரிகதிரால் யாவும் விழுங்கும் அருண கிரிபரமான்மாவே கிளருளப்பூணன்றாய் விரிபருதியாக விளங்கு சித்திரமாமிகுதெல்லாம் செம்மலையே நின்பாலே உத்திதமாய் நின்றே ஒடுங்கிடுமால் நித்தியமும் நானென்றிதயம் நடித்திடுவையாலுன் பேர் தானிதயம் என்றிடுவர்தாம் அகமுகமாரந்த அமலமதி தன்னால் அகமிதுதான் எங்கெழும் என்றாய்ந்தே அகவுருவை நன்கறிந்து முன்னீர் நதி போலும் மோயுமே உன் கண்ணருணாச்சலனே ஓர் வெளிவிடயம் விட்டு விளங்கும் அருள்நேசா வழியடக்க நிற்கும் மனத்தால் உளமதனில் உன்னை தியானித்து யோகி ஒளி காணும் உன்னில் உயர்வுருமீதுன் உன்னிடத்தில் ஒப்புவித்த உள்ளத்தால் எப்பொழுதும் உன்னை கண்டு எல்லாமும் முன்னுருவாய் அந்நியமில் அன்பு செய்யும் அன்னோன் அருணாச்சலாவெல்கும் இன்புருவா முன்னிலாழ்ந்தே அருணகிரிரமணன் ஆரியத்திற்கண்ட அருமறை அந்த கருத்தேயாகும் அருணா சலபஞ்சகமணியை தன் தமிழ் வெண்பாவால் உலகு கழித்தானு வந்து அரியாதீதரசீவர தகவாரிச குகையில் அறிவாயிரமி பரமாத்துமன் அருணாச்சலரமணன் பரிவாழ்வுளம் முருகானல பரனார்ந்திடு குகையார்ந்து அறிவாம் விழித்திரவாய் நிசம் அறிவாய் அது வெளியாம் அண்ணாமலையாய் அடியேனை ஆண்ட அன்றே ஆவியுடல் கொண்டாய் எனக்கோர் குறையுண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீ அல்லால் என்னேனிவற்றை என்னுயிரே எண்ணம் எதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே ஓமதி மதுர சாபஹஸ்தாம் அபரிமிதாம் மோதபான சௌபாக்யாம் அருணாம் அதிசய கருணாம் அபிநவ குலசுந்தரீம் வந்தே ஓம் ஐம் ஹ்ரீம் ஸ்ரீம் ஓம் வசுதேவசுதம் தேவம் கம்சசானூரமர்தனம் தேவகீ பரமானந்தம் கிருஷ்ணம் வந்தே ஜகத்குரும். After explaining what is Kshetram, along with its modifications, Bhagavan started explaining what is Jnanam. Here Jnanam means the values that has been practiced by a seeker to attain jnanam. That is called as jnanam. From amanitvam, adhambitvam onwards, he enumerated what are all the things we have to practice to get qualified to know the real kshetrajna, the real knowledge. And then he started explaining what is jneyam. That has to be known. What has to be known? The Paramatma has to be known. Jneyam means the worthy of knowing. That is, the Paramatma has to be known. That he started explaining. So what he said, Jneyam yattat pravakshyami yajnatva amrutam ashnute. By knowing which you will attain to that immortality. Anadi matparam brahma na sat na asad uchyate. It is anadi, beginningless, anadimat, beginningless, param, supreme, and it is Brahma, it is absolute truth, Brahma. Na tat, na sat, na asat uchyate. It cannot be explained as sat or asat. Existence or non-existence. Why? Since it is not available for the senses and mind, it is as if non-existent. You cannot call it as sat. And you cannot call it as asat because it is and it alone is. So therefore it cannot be said as sat or asat. Or all these ideas are illumined by the pure consciousness. So it is beyond sat or asat. That is how we have to understand. And then moving on, he tried to explain this as expressing through the world. Sarvata panipadam tat. Everywhere his panipadam, arms and legs. Everywhere his sarvato akshihi, eyes, mouth, the head. Everywhere his ears. In fact, he alone is pervading everything. See? So with respect to the world, he alone is expressing as the world. Sarvendriya gunabhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam. He only is expressing to the senses. That is why we are able to perceive, understand. But by himself, he has no senses. And asaktam, even though he is unattached, but still he supports everything. Sarva bhrcha. And nirgunam, guna bhoktricha. Even though he is beyond gunas, but he is the one enjoyer of all the gunas. All the gunas means all the bhogas. Why he is said as enjoyer? Because without his conscious, his grace, the senses, the mind cannot operate. Therefore, through the senses and mind only we enjoy, na? So therefore, he is ultimately the enjoyer. That is how it is said. So actually the dharma of the jiva is superimposed on the Paramatma and said he is the enjoyer. Because jiva is nothing but the Paramatma only, that way, you know. So that way he is called as the enjoyer. Till this point we have seen, right? Now we have to see the verse number 15. Am I right? In the Holy Gita it is 16. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu. What happened? Oh, Bahira. Okay. Bahirantascha bhutanam. Acharam charamevacha. Sukshmatvat tadhavidnyeyam. Dhurastam chantike chatat. Bahirantascha bhutanam. Acharam charamevacha. Sukshmatva tadhavidnyeyam. Dhurastam chantike chatat. Continuing the language of contradiction, here Krishna, he says, Bahirantascha bhutanam. He alone is outside and also inside. Bahihi means outside. Antaha means inside. Bhutanam means in all the beings. With respect to all the beings, he alone is outside and inside. Here Shankara says, Tvakparyantam deham atmatvena avidya kalpitam apekshya tameva avadhim krutva bahihi uchyate. Because always we consider this as our boundary, na? This body as our boundary. So that is out of ajnana, because we are not this body. But because of ajnana we consider this is me, this boundary is me. Till the skin, we consider I am this. Therefore, accordingly, here it is said outside the body, inside also the Paramatma only. See? But actually speaking, he is all pervading. So there is no need to say that he is outside or inside. But I assume ourselves to be this body. Therefore, it is said Bahi. With respect to the body, Bahi, out. And with respect to the body, inside. That is how Bahirantascha Bhutanam. And what about in the middle? So, to dispel this doubt, Charam Acharamevacha, Acharam Charamevacha. And in fact, he only is the Acharam and Charam, the non-moving and moving. Everything is he only. He has pervaded everything, so he alone is everything. But, though he is everything, but still avijñeyam, you cannot know him. What is this? If he is everything, we should know him, na? No. Even though he is outside, inside, in fact, he alone is everything, chara, acharam. But still avijñeyam, the second sentence, see, sukshmatvat ad avijñeyam. Why? Because he is so subtle. Sukshmatvat, ati sukshmam. Only gross things we are able to see and perceive. Subtle things we are able to feel and even understand. But he is subtler than the subtlest. See, it is said the space is very subtle. But the space also is mind's creation only. He is still subtler. So therefore, simply because he is very subtler than the subtlest, he is avijñeyam, he is not known. See here, Shankara says, Yadi acharam charamevacha vyavaharag vishayam sarvam ñeyam kimartam idam iti sarvaihi na vijñeyam. He should be known by everybody na, if he is everything. Then why he is unknown? Because he says satyam, what you are saying is right. Sarvabhasam tat tatapi vyomavat sukshmam. Like space is so subtle, ataha sukshmatvat svena rupena tad ñeyamapi avijñeyam avidusham. So even though there is no veil, but still he is not known. For avidusham, for those who are ignorant. But for vidusham, those who are wise, Atmai Vedam Sarvam, Brahmai Vedam Sarvam, Ityadi Pramanataha, Nityam Vijñatam. But for the wise ones, he is always available, he is always known. But for the ignorant, he is not known. Even though he is everything, he is not known. See? How sad, na? That which is all pervading, everywhere, inside and outside, it should be known. But somehow it is not known. How? Mayamayam. The world which is not is known, is projected, and we know only that. And that which is actually is covered as if, and we don't know. This is Maya. And only for the ignorant he is not known. But for the Vidusham, wise one, he is known. He is so subtle, therefore he is not known. Because whatever is perceived through the mind and intellect also is illumined by him. So that illuminator, the mind and intellect cannot perceive, cannot know. Therefore he is so subtle. So when you drop all the instruments, then only he is revealed. But for us, even for a second we cannot drop, because always we are in that only. Therefore avijñeyam, he is not known. See? And not only that, dhurastam, he is very, very far. Cha antike chatatadu, and he is very near. You say he is very far, or you say very near. He is very far and he is very near. How? Avijñatataya durastam varsha sakastra kotyapi avidusham aprapyatvad. Why durastam? For the ignorant, Even after 100 crores of Janma, he is not known. Therefore, Durastam. It's all very difficult. It's not my cup of tea. It's somewhere, I don't know. But for Antikecha Tadad Atmavat Vidusham, for the Vidusham, the wise ones, he is the Atma, the self. Therefore, it's very close. Antike, very close. In fact, he is the self only. Not even we can call him very close. He is the very self only. So therefore, if you are extrovert, if you are unable to understand, grasp, then it is very far. But if you are very wise, if you are able to understand or grasp, he is very close. At the same time, he is very far and very close. What is that? Antarmukha Samaradhya, Bahirmukha cha Sudushkruta, Sudurlabha. Antarmukha Samaradhya. For Antarmukha, one who is turned within. Antarmukha, what is that? Samaradhya, easily attained, easily worshipped. Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. So when one is extrovert, you cannot know her. She is not gained. It's Ambad. In Lalita Sahasranama it comes. So Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. Similarly, for the one who is ignorant, he is as if so far. See, when I was in Sri Lanka, sometimes I would discuss with the Buddhist monks also about this truth, about whatever is the truth. They say that we cannot realize now. Only Buddha can realize. And we can go closer to Buddha, but we cannot realize. And that too, after so many janmas, we can go closer to Buddha, but we cannot realize. That is what they say. But Bhagavan says, here and now we can realize. Ramana Maharshi says, here and now we can realize. But Swamiji, today late morning you were saying that we don't know. Even in spite of all sadhanas, you may or may not. All those things, very discouraging, Swamiji. Why? See, it is not that bad actually. With His grace, He can be known. That is what said again and again. Why it is said with His grace, with His grace? You know why it is said with His grace? Because whatever effort we put only with the ego self. Whatever knowledge we gain only with the ego self. But the ego self is the problem. That ego self has to die. So how can you say with the help of the ego self you can kill the ego self? You cannot. Therefore it is said, even though you put all efforts, even though you understand, appreciate, but at the final stage, the grace. It is the grace of the Lord, it is said. The final push. So therefore it is said, very, very difficult, even though he is the very self. Manushyanam sahastreshu yadyatapi siddhaye. Among the thousands, yedo orthar, one in a million, they attain him, not all. That is what said. Because only 1 in 1,000 try to understand scripture. And among them 1 in 1,000 will put forward some effort. And among them 1 in 1,000 only will come to know this. So durlabha, therefore it is very difficult. But actually speaking, when we are very sincere, when we intensely apply ourselves, contemplate, dive deep within, it is very close. Cha antike cha tat, it is very close. Therefore, Ascharyam, what is the wonder here? Even though he is Bahihi Antar, he is everything, but still he is not available for us to experience. Because he is so subtle. And for some, he appears to be very far. It's not our cup of tea, Swamiji. Our mind will not cooperate. You don't know our minds. It always roams everywhere. Only when we sit for meditation, it goes everywhere. I think it is very difficult. No, don't lose heart. Antike, it is very close. It is the very self. Slow and steady wins the race. We have to go on putting efforts, go on walking. And with this grace, it is experienced. Then, moving on to the next verse, the verse number 16. 17 in Holy Gita, in Shankara Bhashya it is 16. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva cha sthitham bhuta bhartru cha tadnyeyam grasishnu prabha vishnu cha avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva cha sthitham bhuta bhartru cha tadnyeyam grasishnu prabha vishnu cha avibhaktam cha pratideham vyomavat tad ekam bhuteshu sarva pranishu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam deheshu eva vibhavyamanatvat. Avibhaktam means he is undivided, he is one, he is undivided. Like the space, space is so subtle, it cannot be broken. See, please understand. If you are building a house in the space, it is not that the space has become the hall space or the whole space, total space, and then because you have put 4 walls, it has never become hall space. It is one space only. In the space you build with bricks and other things, cement, everything, you build a, say, let us say a hall. Since because the bricks and cements are very gross, they cannot break the space because it's very subtle. And the space is never divided. It is one only. But because our attention is on the walls of the hall, we say hall space is different from the whole total space. Similarly, pot, we say pot space, hall space, total space. But just by building a wall around, let us say the pot, the space cannot be broken. Similarly, the Atma, the self, is still subtler than the space. Imagine, it cannot be conditioned, it cannot be broken. It is always avibhaktam, unbroken, undivided. But, bhuteshu vibhaktam iva sthitam. But if you see in the beings, as if he is divided. Divide as if means what? We are seeing different beings, no? I am different, you are different, he is different, she is different. Why? Because of the body identification. These walls, our attention is on this wall. So we say as if he is vibhaktam, he is divided. And we say one Atma per body mind. So we say I am different, you are different. Because our attention is on the body mind, the upadhi, the conditioning. When our attention is on the walls, we say it's a hall space or pot space. But if our attention on the space, we understand that space cannot be divided. So if our attention on the self, we understand that the self cannot be divided into very many beings. Self is only one. Then what about other beings? They appear in the self and they disappear, and it has no existence apart from the self. So self alone, like the TV screen, the scenes appear and disappear. But what is there? Only the TV screen. The scenes appear and disappear. The scenes, can it be apart from the TV screen? No. They don't have separate existence apart from the TV screen. Can the scenes touch the TV screen? Can't. What is only the TV screen? Then what are we seeing? Just scenes projected on the TV screen. Similarly, the world of names and forms appear and disappear in the self. Self is one. It cannot be divided. But since we are identified with the body mind, it looks as if it is divided into very many beings. Has different, like I am a living being and non-living, like the mountain, like the river, this, that. But you know what? When you know that it is undivided, there is so much of bliss. You know why? You know everything is yourself. Nothing is other than you. I tell you that the joy is limitless when you know everything is yourself. So you know what? We have ourselves shrunken so much and consider only this much. But we are everything. My God, how much we are, ignorant. And then we were very proud. I look very beautiful. And my hair, long hair I have got. And I am this, I am that. How buddhu we are, How idiotic we are, Everything is me. Such a vision is most, only when you give up this identification, you can accept everything as yourself and you can revel. See, how sad, when we see people being very proud of their own physical appearance, their mental, dispositions, their intellectual capabilities. They are limiting themselves to be very alpam. In fact, they are everything. The whole ocean is me. The whole sky is me. Surya is me. Chandra is me. Everything is me. Nisargadatta Maharaj said, I don't have cancer, I am cancer, he said. Yes, cancer is also me. Everything is me. That is the vision. Because that is the one without the second. It appears to be many because of the conditionings. Why? Because I am conditioned. It appears everything is conditioned. When my condition is removed, you know that nothing is conditioned. It is a pure self. So, avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. I tell you, I should not tell all these things, but Chuma, I am telling you, when I had gone to this Niagara Falls, I was watching wonderful Niagara Falls. Suddenly, I could feel everything is me. So, it is not other than me. All Niagara Falls is me. Everything is me. Means what? Oh my God, that Ananda is unbound. Why? If you think it is something else, you enjoy as an enjoyer. But if you know everything is me, Hetavanasya Mahima, it is my own glory. The whole world is my own glory. Everything is my own glory. The good and bad is my own glory. Everything is my own glory. Nothing is other than the self. So this is the vision. When you can gain this vision, everything is done. So, avibhaktam, it cannot be divided. Because it is subtler than the subtlest. The gross cannot condition or divide the subtle. That is the idea. With a sword, can you cut the air? Sword is very gross, air is very subtle. You cannot cut even the water. Is that not so? So Atma, the self, is subtler than the subtlest, means it cannot be divided by anything. So avibhaktam cha bhuteshu, vibhaktam iva cha sthitam, as if it is divided. And that's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, vibhaktam iva cha sthitam, deheshu eva vibhavyamanatvat. Because there are different dehas we see, only the conditionings we see, and we think self is divided into many, and so many different selves. You are a different person, I am a different person, everybody is different. We imagine. But in fact, everything is one. Even this body-mind appears and disappears in the consciousness. Like every body-mind, everything appears and disappears. This body-mind also appears and disappears. And this Vyakti, this personality also appears and disappears. Everything appears and disappears in the ocean of consciousness, including this person who is talking. But I identify with one body mind and say, I am the speaker, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. No. In fact, everything rises in me and everything if the tree is moving, I am only moving. Or if this body is moving, I am not moving. Either take one of this stand. Since you identify the body, when the body moves, I say I am moving. Since you think the tree is something else, when the tree moves, I am not moving. Either you appreciate everything is me, or you appreciate nothing is me. Both are same only. In both the cases, you appreciate the self as undivided. So, avibhaktam cha bhuteshu, vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. And tad jneyam, please understand that to be. Tad jneyam means please understand that to be. That is what Gurudev interprets. But Shankara says that jneyam, that supreme truth, bhuta bhartru, it supports all. While everything is existing, where it is existing? In that only. When the scenes are playing, where it is existing? In the screen only it is existing. Is that not so? So therefore, bhuta bhartru. So this is the support of all beings. The self is the support of all beings. And grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. And that self, that jneyam or that vastu is the one, grasishnu, which devours everything. And prabhavishnu cha, which creates everything. So here it says, pralaya kale grasishnu, grasana sheelam, utpatti kale prabhavishnu cha, prabhana sheelam. So during that pralaya kala, time of dissolution, that one is considered to be the devourer of everything. And during the creation, utpatti kale, he creates everything. But in fact, he is just sakshi matram. He is not doing anything. But without him, there is no maya, there is no prakriti. Whatever prakriti is done is superimposed on him because it is his prakriti. Therefore, he is only responsible for all the dissolution and all the creation. But in fact, if you ask him, he says, I have nothing other than myself. What are you talking about creation and dissolution? See, this is the mystery, From his own standpoint, there is nothing other than himself. But from the ignorance man's standpoint, he sees the world, creation, dissolution. So therefore, it is attributed to the self. Whereas, actually speaking, he is not responsible. His maya prakriti, that is only creating and dissolving. Since the maya prakriti is his own inherent potentiality, without him there is no maya. Therefore, he is called as the one who creates and one who dissolves everything. That is jneyam. Please understand that to be the jneyam. So that one is undivided. This one principle if you can catch. See, we think the world is solid. Very sad, We think it is three-dimensional, solid. It is sitting somewhere. It is not. This idea that world is sitting outside, solid, three-dimensional, is the biggest ignorance. Without the knower, there cannot be anything known. Only with the light of the knower, everything is known. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvam idham vibhati. That is what while showing Aarti, Karpura Aarti, we say that. Natatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti kutoya magnihi. Even the sun cannot shine there. The moon, the stars cannot shine. The lightning cannot shine there. How foolish I am. I am trying to illuminate him through this Karpura Arati. How can I illuminate him through this Karpura Arati? This is what we are saying actually. In fact, he illuminates everything. In his light only everything is illumined. Even the Aditya, the sun is illumined because of his light. That is what we are going to see the next verse. So we think the world is independent of ourselves. It is not. See, this is what we think, See, this is what is the ajnanam. Please understand. Summa Viveka Chudamana padichu oru punyamum kedayadu. When you think you are born in a particular time, you have come into this world. And the world was there before also. And you have come into this world one day. Happy birthday to you, you celebrate. And then one day you will depart, but the world will go on. And then I will come back into this world, be born again. This is the ignorance. It is not true. See, relatively you can say whatever you want, but absolutely it is not true. In me, the world appears. And in me, in the deep sleep, the world goes back. In me only everything appears and disappears, and I am the substratum of all. I am not born. The world is born in me. I won't die. The world dies in me. And the world is always in me. Therefore, Gurudev once remarked, no, I am not going to Pune. Pune would appear in my consciousness. And then the Pune would disappear. And then Mumbai would appear in my consciousness. Mumbai would disappear. See, what a profound statement. It is not that I am going to US. Sometimes US appears in my consciousness and then it goes away. I am the substratum where everything appears and disappears. This is the reality. So if you celebrate your birthday and death day and all, how ignorant we are. We are conforming to our body identification, saying that the world was there independent of me and I am as an individual was born in a particular day and I will die, the world will continue. This is ignorance. No, sorry, world doesn't remain apart from me. World is in fact my own extension. In fact, world is me only. In fact, there is no world other than me. How many statements? One after the another. So this is understanding. You will understand only when you understand avivaktam cha bhuteshu, vivaktam iva cha. This change in vision is a real leap in our vichara, in our contemplation. As long as you think you are to be individual and the world is there, you are enjoying or suffering, you are not a seeker, you are not at all evolved. Chumma you can talk anything, you can think anything. But only when you can appreciate that in you the world is appearing, then there is something. In fact, you are not different from the world. In fact, the world is not different from you. So, avibhaktam cha bhuteshu, vivaktam iva sthitam. Bhuta bhartru, it is a supporter of all. And then grasishnu, it devours everything. And then it brings back everything. So that is jneyam, tad jneyam. Understand that to be worthy of knowing. That is the absolute truth. Kimcha sarvatra vidyamanam sad na upalabhyate ched jneyam tamaha tarhi. See, if it is there everywhere, but if it is not available, if it is not known, it means it is darkness. That is the question raised by Shankara. Connecting the next two verse, he is raising this question. You say it is everywhere, it is all pervading, and you say it is not available. Avijneyam, it is not available for our senses mind. Do you mean to say it is not available means it is shunya or it is darkness? Tamaha. No, it is not tamaha. It is blinding light, so you cannot see. See, light you can see, but blinding light you cannot see. Suppose you are sleeping, let us say, and some mischievous person, he sets up 1000 watts bulb, focus light on, nest very close to you. When you open your eyes, you can't see anything. Sometimes your eyes may go, I don't know what will happen. Means blinding light means you cannot see. Similar, see, I just only, it's a comparison, sort of example. Don't think it is a blinding light and all. It is not blinding light also. It is a pure knowledge which illumines everything. That is why it is called as light. See, in the Vyavahara, we know what illumines everything is light. That is why it is said light, light, light. Don't take it to be the ordinary light. Then you will be a tube light. So it is pure knowledge because of which you know everything. அறிவுக்கு அறிவாயிருந்து அறிவுறுத்தும் தூய அறிவு. So therefore, Jyotishamapi, we will chant this. Jyotishamapi tajyotihi tamasaparamuchyate jnanam nyeyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitham Jyotishamapi tajyotihi tamasaparamuchyate jnanam nyeyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitham. So here it is said, it is not tamaha, it is not the darkness. Jyotishamapi tajyotihi. Here Shankaracharya says, Jyotisham means what? Adityanamapi. What is that which is very effulgent in this world? So the sun. Is that not so? So Jyotishamapi tad. Jyotihi means what? Nyeyam Jyotihi Atma Chaitanya Jyotisha Idhanihi Adityadini Jyotishi Deepyante. See, this is very difficult to understand. Even the sun, we are able to appreciate his effulgence because of Atma Chaitanya. How, if your attention is not there, let us say you are asleep, your eyes are half open. There may be bright sunlight, your eyes are also open, but why you are not able to see? When you are asleep, some sort of construction work, something is going on, let us say, but you are very dead tired. Your eyes are wide open, but why you are not able to hear? Why? Because the attention or the mind is not peeping through the senses. So when through the senses, even the mind or the attention or the consciousness is not peeping through, you cannot know anything. So therefore, he illumines even the sun. So therefore, Jyotishamapi tajyotihi. He is the light of all lights. Jyotishamapi tajyotihi. Tamasa paramuchyate. He is beyond darkness. Yena suryas tapati tejaseddaha. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. See, just now I said, na? Yadaditya gadam tejaha. Smritehe cha ityadehe. So even in the Gita it is going to come. Yadaditya gadam tejaha, etc. So tamasaha ajnanat param asprishtam uchyate. So it is beyond. Tamas means what? It cannot be touched by tamas. There is nothing called as ajnana. In the true self, there is nothing called as ajnana. Then why are we suffering? That is why we don't know. Why are we suffering? And then we have to attribute to something, so we say ajnana. But in the pure self, ajnana cannot rise. In the sun, how can there be darkness? Somehow. So tamasaha ajnanat param asprishtam uchyate. So therefore, here it is in fact the light of lights, and it is beyond darkness also. Why it is beyond darkness? The same consciousness illumines even the darkness. See, the light, ordinary light, when it illumines, it cannot illumine the darkness. Darkness will run away. When the light comes, darkness departs. So the light cannot illumine the darkness. Do you get the point? Light can illumine everything, but it cannot illumine the darkness. But this consciousness illumines the light also and the darkness also. The existence also, non-existence also. Presence also, absence also. Therefore, this is something else. Jyotishamapi tajyotihi. Tamasa paramuchyate. And jnanam. So that is jnanam. Why it is called as jnanam? What happened suddenly? Who is doing this? See, when I am talking live, why do you want to listen to the YouTube? I don't understand. Huh? Vidya, I don't think so. Okay, anyway. So, what is, it is called as Jnanam, Jneyam, Jnanagamyam. Hridi Sarvasya Vishtitam. It reminds everybody's heart. Hridi. Hridi Vishtita means it resides in everybody's heart. And that is Jnanam, Jneyam, Jnanagamyam. What is that? That absolute is called as Jnanam, Jneyam, Jnanagamyam. Why it is called like that? Because Jnanam means what? Amanitwadi. Because of this Amanitvam, Adambitvam, all these values, we will reach there. So that is called as Jnanam. Na? So all that is also that only. And then Jneyam means what? Jneyam yattat pravakshyami ityadina. So the Jneyam means what? The true self, the absolute, worthy of knowing. That is also this only. And Jnanagamyam means what? Through proper knowledge, it will be gained. Jnanagamyam. Through knowledge it is gained. Therefore it is denoted as Jnanagamyam also. It is not that it cannot be gained. Through proper means it can be gained. So here it is interpreted as Jnanam, Jneyam, Jnanagamyam. But in some other interpreters, how they interpret, like Siddhavanandaji or Gurudev, they interpret this is knowledge, pure knowledge. Jneyam means the object of knowledge also, the objects also. And Jnanagamyam, which can be known through the right knowledge. That is how they interpret. But here Shankaracharya interprets Jnanam as whatever we have enumerated as Anamanityam, Adambitvam, all those values which leads you to the Jnanam. That is what here indicated as Jnanam, he says. So that absolute is called as Jnanam also because it takes you to the Jnanam, these values. And Jneyam means, of course, worthy of knowing, this is absolute. And Jnanagamyam means what? Through the proper means, you reach that. So Jnanagamyam. Therefore, it is all, and it is residing in everybody's heart. So please understand this to be the light of lights and beyond darkness. And it is the thing which is residing in everybody's heart. Sarve Ramati iti Ramaha. Ramaha means one who is reveling in everybody's heart. So Ramaha means its absolute self is called as Rama. That is why Vasishta Muni gave this name to that prince, son of Dasharatha, because it indicates self. So Rama was even before Rama. Similarly, Ramanam also means the same. One who revels in the self of all. Ramanam also. Radha, Ramanas, like that we sing now. One who revels. So therefore, here, that is the one which is the real knowledge. Hridi Sarvasya Vishtitam, it resides in everybody's heart. Sarvasya, Hridi Sarvasya, all beings' heart. So it is the heart of all being, and it resides in the heart of all beings. And then he says in the next verse, Iti kshetram tata jnanam Jneyam choktam samasataha Mat bhakta etad vijnaya Mat bhavayopapadhyate Iti kshetram tata jnanam Jneyam choktam samasataha Mat bhaktaye tad vijnaya Mat bhavayopapadhyate. Thus I have revealed to you, thus I have expressed whatever you asked. You asked what is Kshetram. So I have revealed to you along with its modification also. Starting from the Prakriti Avyaktam onwards, and then all the Pancha Mahabhutas and everything. You know, those 24 tattvas we have seen in the morning, na? And also all the Vikaram, like Sukha Dukkha, all those things. Everything. That is Kshetram. And then Tatha Jnanam. And I have told you what is Jnanam. What is the Jnanam? Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Rajyavam. Because those things take you to the Jnanam. So they are called as Jnanam. That also I have revealed to you. And Jneyam. What is that worthy of knowing? By all these verses I have expressed what is Jneyam. Is it not so? This language of contradiction. Whatever he has expressed, that is Jneyam. That is the Paramatma, worthy of knowing. Jneyam. Cha Uktam Samasataha. So I have expressed, I have revealed everything in brief to you. All these things. Mat Bhakta Etat Vijnaya Mat Bhavaya Upapadyate. See, here he says, Mat Bhaktaha, one who is my devotee, Etat Vijnaya, having known this, Mat Bhavaya Upapadyate, he becomes fit to attain my true state, my true nature. Here Shankara says, Mat Bhaktaha means what? Who is his devotee? He says, Mat Bhaktaha, my devotee. My devotee means Mai Ishvare, Sarvajne, Paramagurau, Vasudeve, Samarpita, Sarvatma Bhavaha. See, who is devotee? One who sees Vasudeva as the ultimate, the self as Vasudeva. Ishvare, he is the Ishvara. Sarvajne means he is the all-knowing. Paramagurau, he is the supreme teacher. In him, Samarpita, one who has offered everything, surrendered totally. He is called as his Bhakta. And not only that, Sarvatma Bhavaha, Yat Pashyati, Shrunoti, Sprushati, Va Sarvameva, Bhagavan Vasudeva iti, Evam Grahavishta, Buddhihi Mat Bhaktaha. And not only that, one who has offered himself to me, and he sees everywhere, whatever he sees, whatever he hears, whatever he experiences everything as Vasudeva only. For him there is nothing other than Vasudeva. He is my Bhakta, he is my devotee, he says. Pochda. Na kuda devotee na lesuvasa edo avar padna nama devotee nanichtom illa. Just to sing about his glories, I am devotee nanishchana, but it is not so. One who sees him everywhere in everything, he is my devotee, he says. Mat Bhaktaha. Mat Bhaktaha cha etad yatoktam samyak darshanam vijnaya. Having known about the truth which I have revealed through all these verses, Mat Bhavaya, Mama Bhavo, Mat Bhavaha, Paramatma Bhavaha, Tasmai Mat Bhavaya Upadyate, Moksham Gacchati. So such devotee will attain to me, meaning he will be liberated. Moksham Gacchati. So he says, if you are devoted to me, completely surrendered unto me, and if you are able to see me everywhere, then such a devotee also will know me in true essence, and he becomes one with me, meaning he attains to my state, meaning he also would be liberated. You understand? So, either through path of vichara, we try to know the self, or through surrender. Why? When you surrender, Bhagavan has assured, Aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami. I will become your savior who will release you from this mrityu samsara sagara, the ocean of transmigration. Buddhi yoham dadami, I will give you the buddhi yoga, whatever is required for you to know the self. See, what an assurance he was given. And I will means relieve you from all sins. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyah mokshayishyami. I will really release you from all sins. Mokshayishyami, I will liberate you. Ma shuchaha, don't despair. So therefore, either with the help of the Guru and his guidance and our own efforts, vichara, we go deep and know the self. If not, take the support of the divine. Offer yourself unto the divine. Perform all the actions for the sake of the divine. And think everything belongs to the divine. And your own self also is offered unto him. Then you don't expect anything. Not even moksha. Total Atma Samarpanam. See, Bhagavan says, when you have surrendered to me, what business you have got to say, oh Bhagavan, you give me moksha? If you have surrendered completely unto me, it is my business to do whatever with you. That's what Bhagavan once said, Ramana Maharshi said once. When you say, I am completely surrendering unto you, meaning you totally belong to me, means what? Then you have no business to ask anything. You have no business to say, please give me this, give me that. Because you yourself offered yourself unto me. When you have no business to ask, give me moksha, give me this, give me that. See how beautiful it is. So for a Parama Bhakta, he is not worried even about moksha. He is not worried about anything. Not about the world, definitely not about the world. Not about his life, not about his dear ones. He is not worried because he knows everything is taken care by the Lord. He knows the best and he will do his best. He will take care of everything. That is the truth actually. So totally surrendered means mat bhaktaha etad vijnaya, he will come to know my true form, and then mat bhavaya upapadyate, he will attain me, moksham gachanti, he goes to that supreme state. So this 13th chapter is so deep. And now it is not over yet. Because he asked about Prakriti and Purusha na? In the first verse, which is controversial really. Controversial means what? Some people say it is there, it is not there. Na? Arjuna asked that question. Na? He asked in the first verse, if you see, oh, he has not given. No point. He asked, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva, Kshetram Kshetrajnameva cha, Etad Vedudam Ichchami, Jnanam Nyeyam cha Keshava. So Kshetram he has answered, Jnanam Nyeyam he has answered. Now Prakriti and Purusha is going to take up. So from the next verse onwards, from the verse 19th and 20th, he is going to talk about Prakriti and Purusha. In Yoga Shastra also, Prakriti and Purusha is only explained. And in your book it is 20th verse. Okay. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadhi Ubhavapi Vikaramsha Gunamshchaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadhi Ubhavapi Vikaramscha Gunamshchaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Before entering into this verse, Shankara gives a sort of a small introduction for this verse. He says, Tatra Saptame, in the 7th chapter, Ishwarasya dve prakriti upanyaste para apare kshetra kshetrajna lakshane. Apara prakriti and para prakriti, the lower and the higher prakriti. No? Do you remember? 7th chapter we studied. You don't wonder, we studied just few days back. Etad yonini bhutani iti cha uktam, that is the womb of all, he explained. Why? We saw Prakriti means the matter, according to Gurudev, and Purusha means the spirit. And the spirit functioning through the matter is the whole creation, is the whole universe. When the spirit is not functioning through the matter, matter is dead and not available for our perception. Only the spirit is there, there is no matter means what? There is no expression. Or you can say Shiva and Shakti also. When Shakti is not there, there is no creation, there is no expression. Shiva Demen irukka vendidhaan. But when Shiva is not there, Shakti is not at all there. Because Shakti is the inherent potentiality of the Shiva. So this is what he explained in the 7th chapter. Kshetra kshetrajna prakriti dvaya yonitvam katam bhutanam iti ayam artaha aduna uchyate. How this Prakriti and Purusha becomes the womb for the whole creation. To explain that, now he is taking up this verse about the Prakriti and Purusha. See, so many technical terms, na? You should remember all those things, otherwise you will miss. In Bhagavatam, if you go, you should remember so many names, so many events. But when you come to Vedanta, so many technical terms you have to remember. So here, Prakritim Purusham Chayeva Vidhi Anadi Ubhavapi. Here it is said, please understand, Vidhi means please understand this Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti can be roughly translated as nature also. It is the inherent potentiality of the Parameshwara. So it can be called as the Maya Prakriti also. Maya Shakti also can be called as Prakriti sometimes. In different Shastra it is defined it indicated in different ways. In Yoga Shastra it is Prakriti and Purusha. In Vedanta Shastra, Brahman and Maya. Something like that, But there is a small difference, but we need not worry about too much about those differences. So Prakriti and Purusha, either you can call it as matter and spirit, or the nature and the conscious principle, whatever you want. Vidya Anadi Ubhavapi. Please understand, both are beginningless. Why both are beginningless? Because Ishvara himself is beginningless. His Prakriti, and his lower and higher, lower Prakriti, higher Prakriti, that is what we have learnt as matter and spirit. So since he is Anadi, beginningless, so therefore Prakriti and Purusha both are beginningless. Please understand, therefore as if everything is happening from time immemorial. Ippada sonneenga onnume illena, there is no creation. See, that is what, from different standpoints, different things are said. We should not get confused. That is why I appreciate Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's standpoint always. Sometimes, this Vedanta standpoint, odane they start beating around the bush and, going round and round and round. See, I am not putting down anything. They are all great, great masters. For some reason, for all, to help all, they must have said all those things. But Bhagavan never moves from the main crux. So it is said Prakriti and Purusha both are Anadi, beginningless. Vikaramsha Gunamshaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Vikaramsha means all the modifications, whatever you see, the forms and its modification, everything. And Gunamshaiva, what are the gunas like Sukha, Dukkha, all those gunam, all these things are belonging to Prakriti. Prakriti Sambhavan, it is created by Prakriti, by Maya Prakriti. So understand that all these Vikaram is the modifications. All are modifications of the Panchamahabhuta only. Is that not so? See, this is what we have studied in the Kaivalya Navanidam. Starting from the Panchamahabhutas, everything is created. The individual also, the microcosm and the macrocosm, Anda and Pinda, Pinda and Anda. So everything is the modification only of that Prakriti. See, it was there in Samyavastha, and then something happened, and then everything started. That is how in the Kaivalya Navanidam it is explained. In the technical Vedanta Shastra also it is explained that way only. So all the Vikaramsha and Gunamshaiva, the three gunas and the Vikaras of those three gunas, everything belongs to the Maya Prakriti. And then this Bhoga, that belongs to the Purusha. That is what is going to be explained in the next verse. Why? He only enjoys, he only suffers. For him only is the samsara. See? The samsara is not for this body. Samsara is not for the body. Body pound doesn't know even what is what. And samsara is not for the mind also. Samsara is not for the buddhi also. Samsara is only for the person who is identified with the body and mind. The jiva. The purusha is only identified. So for him only the samsara. So for him only all the bhoga, sukha dukkha, everything is for him only. So he enjoys or suffers. So when he understands, he is not the person who is expressing through the Prakriti, he is Uttama Purusha, Purushottama. That is what we are going to see in the 15th chapter. Uttama Purusha, who has nothing to do with Prakriti, he by himself is a supreme, then there is no samsara. If he expresses through the upadis, Prakriti, and if he identifies, then samsara. When he detaches from the upadi, doesn't identify, and he remains as his own self, then that is called as moksha, liberation. So this bandha moksha, sukha dukkha, all this belongs to the Purusha, the conscious entity. And all these vikara, guna, everything is in the prakriti, in the nature, in jada sambandha, nature, the matter, jada sambandha. So this is what he is going to explain in the next class. So that we will take up tomorrow, because it is a very, very deep subject which we have to contemplate a lot. So tomorrow, when we are very fresh, we will take up again the idea of Prakriti and Purusha and what is their relationship and how we have to withdraw ourselves from Prakriti and remain only as Purusha. So you become Purushottama, Purushottama Yogam. See, once when you get the clarity, everything is simple. When you don't get the clarity, everything is going round and round and round and round. So that clarity is the Guru's prasadam. That clarity you get because of contemplation, churning. You will not get overnight. Maybe not even within few years. You require a lot of contemplation throughout your life. Maybe few lives, we don't know. Churning, that is why it is very important. Without all this understanding, muktaltanam, if you sit for meditation, nothing you can achieve. I am telling you. Just by sitting in meditation, nothing will happen. That is why we don't encourage much also. People say, why not meditation? Why not meditation? What you meditate? Sometime you say something or do something. Upasana only it is also. But knowledge is very special. Knowledge only can release you from the bondage. Knowledge with the control, the self-control or the yoga. Diving deep within, that can help. Only yoga will not help. Only jnanam, intellectual knowledge also will not help. That jnanam should become our aparoksha anubhuti, our experience. For that, you have to give your attention and do vichara or meditate. Okay, we will stop here. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Who will want to do Aarti today?